2026 is the year that we combine running, lifting, that full hybrid approach of looking good, feeling lean, and also being functional. In this video, I'll take you through the full training split that will work for you so that you can combine all aspects of training. There will be 3 different modes depending on the time you have available to train, how experienced you are as a lifter or a runner, so that there is something for every single one of you to level up in 2026. Before we do so, I'll take you through my training day today. And first, we've got an easy run on the cards. So let's go. Today is the 31st of December, 2025. So it's often when we set our goals, set our intentions for the next year. It is absolutely freezing, 0 degrees right now. And I'm here visiting family in Brighton. Today is a double training day. So I've got a run and then a high rock style workout. For those of you who watched my last video, you've seen that I attempted my first high rocks with 0 high rock specific training. One guy in the comment made me exactly specify this. And I'm gonna be honest, I want to do another one. I want to redeem myself. I want to get a far better time. So a few days ago, I booked Amsterdam High Rocks in just 3 weeks. So the second session of today is going to be some targeted work around that. So sleds, basically a lot of station work and running. But what you're really here for is finding the split for you. So if you want to skip right to the end, towards the end of the video, I'll put chapters in each section. This is where we'll go through the full training split, how you set up your weekly schedule to both run, do functional work and strength training all within your training week, because we know that this is the way forward. But if you want to watch the specific exercises I do in the high rock specific workout straight after the run, then stay tuned and keep watching. If you also enjoy this style of content and you really want to improve your running and how you feel next year, make sure to subscribe. Here we are. Here's the fit. Gloves, triple layer. It's absolutely bolting, but we'll be enjoying ourselves later on. The New Year celebrations and all that. Double workout today. We'll be feeling good. You can't not do a thumbs up when you take a selfie. You just can't not. Or the peace sign.
Look at the eyes.
Yeah, look, this is freaking conditions for the UK. I feel like I'm in Canada or something. How far are we running today, by the way? I reckon 8 kilometers minimum, 12 kilometers maximum. No more than an hour. No more than an hour. That's crazy for New Year's Eve. You can see the sea. We've just come downhill. But on the way back is going to be rough, uphill. That's when the HR skyrockets. The first biggest tip, if you want to get more out of your training, is monitoring your effort, holding back some sessions, knowing when to really push. So obviously today is a fairly easy, controlled-ish run because I've got a very, very high intensity workout in a few hours. So if you want to get more out of your training, you want to recover faster, you really have to be careful and pick and choose which workout to really go for it. Still very icy, but beautiful. Now that was a fun little 8-kilometer easy run. Unfortunately, we do not have time to waste. So I'm going straight to the gym and meet my brother there. He is somewhat getting into high rocks as well, so we're going to do some station work. I'll go through the workout when we get there. But no rest for the wicked. So I've got a little carb electrolyte drink, which should hopefully keep me going throughout the workout. In any indoor workout, especially when it's high intensity, I sweat so much. So this drink has 350 milligrams of sodium. Sodium is just as important as carbs, especially when you do sweat a lot like I do. So yeah, we'll get there for about 11 a.m. Then should be done in terms of my workouts. By literally like 1 p.m, the celebrations start. But the most important part at the back end of this video will go through the training approach and philosophy that we'll bring forward into 2026. So I'll see you in the gym and we'll go through the workout. Didn't get too much footage there, but me and my bro just hit a high rock specific workout straight after the run this morning. So legs are cooked. I'll try and do a bit of an explanation of the workout, but it was very, very adaptive because they didn't have a treadmill. So we did 4-minute bike, basically 1500 meter on the bike, and then a station in between. So we did pretty much a full simulation, full high rock simulation in preparation for Amsterdam in 3 weeks. Super fun, endorphins flowing, and now we can enjoy the New Year's Eve celebrations. Wow, what a day. I am shattered. We end up playing a bit of paddle after the high rock specific session, straight afterwards, then got some lunch, and now it's around 6 p.m. People starting to have drinks, wind down, but I wanted to tie off and finish this video. In this segment, we'll be going through beginner, intermediate, and expert, depending on training history, how experienced you are, essentially how quickly your body can recover and how much volume you can manage without getting injured. You always want to train to a certain stimulus that's pushing you, you're progressing every week, but you're not completely overcooking it. This is a perfect split for those of you that want to do lifting, running, and then also high rock specific functional work in there too. So for the beginner level, before we get into that, I'll just go through my personal training week, how it's going to look going into 2026, how I'm going to target specific races. I have 2 main goals for this year. That is a sub 60 high rocks. I know I said in my previous breakdown in my high rocks video, I didn't think it was possible, but after doing for the past 3 weeks very specific high rocks work, more sims, working on my stations, I do actually think this is possible. I'm going to aim for a sub 65 minutes in Amsterdam in 2 or 3 weeks, and then I will go straight into my London Marathon block. So of course for the next few weeks, it'll be more functional based, more strength work, less running, and then straight after the high rocks going into London Marathon, which will be around 12 to 16 weeks, I believe the block will last, and that will be focused more on running. So that's when we'll increase to 5-6 days a week of running, and then reduce the strength stuff. So for the next few weeks, while I try and peak for this Amsterdam High Rocks race, the plan is to train 9 days a week. And again, this will be split across conditioning, which is the High Rocks stuff, we'll just call that conditioning. Running, which will have varied intensities, easy running, interval work, tempo threshold work, which is effectively just like comfortably hard, long running. And then your long run, which will be a mixture of both sessions and then also easy long running. And then of course strength. And the strength work, you want to focus on main compound movements, getting stronger each week. It's not necessarily to build fitness in the gym, it's to build strength. And then hopefully for the high rock stations and movements, I'll massively cut down my time on these. I've already noticed and felt myself, obviously, you haven't seen that much of me so you wouldn't know this, but I put back on a lot of size. I'm feeling a lot stronger instantly from doing this split. And as I said, my confidence has grown a lot, and hopefully I'm gonna get around 65, 60, 7 at worst case, hopefully, in the High Rocks in Amsterdam in a few weeks. But this will be my training split for the next few weeks, and then I'll go into how it will change building up the London Marathon. So Monday will be an easy run plus a conditioning session. So the easy run will be anywhere between 8 to 12 kilometers, super chill. I recently invested in the Coros arm sleeve. I recommend using this or a heart rate monitor to make sure that you are truly running easy. For me, that looks like keeping my heart rate below 145 beats per minute. And this means that I can really give everything, give a lot of intensity to the hard running days. Then the conditioning session will sort of be around 6 to 7 out of 10 effort. So not complete max effort, but keeping it fairly controlled. Somewhat of a threshold workout, but I'd say my heart rate would probably be around zone 2. But obviously with a lot of the stations and the leg work, the lactic acid in the legs is very sore. It's something that I need to improve on, learning from my last High Rocks in terms of that compromised running. So a session of this would look like, for instance, 400 meter repeat run into say like a goblet squat, very high reps. So we're looking 30, 40, 50 reps into then a ski erg or a row. Straight after that would be into a high rep, low weight dual dumbbell push press. So like a shoulder press, back into the run. And then we'll do some, again, high rep, 20 to 30 reps, lunges, back into a run, and then finish with a rowing machine or burpees. So working on the stations, really making sure that I'm focusing on 20, 30 plus rep range, something that I've never done in the gym. So the conditioning sessions, you want to go really high rep. Get used to your muscles being under such extreme fatigue. It's a different kind of pain. And then the separate strength sessions, this is where you want to go from 8 to 12 rep range. So really trying to build the strength and build muscle. Tuesday would then be an interval run. So this is where I would typically head down to the track and focus on 2 kilometer reps, 1 kilometer repeats, 800 meters, 400s, or a blend between the two. You can do ladder workouts where you increase the duration of the reps and then come back down. So you do 200, 400, 800, 1000, 1200, then back down again. Of course, as the rep increases, your rest time also increases, but you don't ever really want longer than, I'd say, 2 minutes. Even on say 2K, 3K reps, your body should be absolutely fine under 2 minutes of just static rest or walking. This is then paired with a lower body workout. So it's an extremely tough day because you go into a run session, then a lower body strength workout. However, it is a completely different energy system. So if you are experienced enough, your body should handle it. And this will be things like heavy squats, Romanian deadlifts, barbell or dumbbell, box jumps, calf raises, extensions, hamstring curls, and again, around that 8 to 12, maybe max 15 rep range. So very different to the conditioning style workouts where you're pushing all the way to 30, 40, 50 reps. Wednesday would then be an easy, medium, long run. So this would be anywhere between 12 to 15K to really build that aerobic capacity. You want to make sure that you've got a lot of zone 2 running throughout your training week, especially if you're running a lot. This is going to build that engine, build that endurance. So that means when you do run at threshold, which you do for a High Rocks event, it will hopefully be at a faster pace so that you tip into zone 3, zone 4, much higher HRs at a faster pace because you built that massive engine beforehand. Thursday would then be a threshold or tempo effort. This is things like 3 times 10 minutes, pretty hard, I'd say around half marathon or 10K effort. And for these workouts, I always try and keep my heart rate below 170. So you don't want to be pushing too hard, you don't want to be going anaerobic, red zone, redlining, because you just will not recover in time for your long run on the weekend. So manage the effort on this one. Things like 5 by 5 minutes tempo, 3 by 10 minutes, 3 by 12 minutes, and just keeping that moderate effort. It's hard, but controlled. This is then paired with an upper body workout session. So you can see my 2 hard run days are always paired with a strength session, just because it is manageable with the different energy systems. And by the time that you do your AM track or tempo work, the PM, you should be absolutely fine. This is things like pendlay rows or barbell rows, any sort of shoulder press or bench press, lat pull down or heavy pull-ups, focusing on the neutral grip, really squeezing the biceps and lats, and then finishing with triceps, biceps, and that is your upper and lower body strength for the week complete. Then the weekend would be another conditioning session and then a long run. As I mentioned before, the long run is either got some tempo efforts in, that will likely be closer to the marathon, but for the moment, it's just getting out, trying to do at least 20 kilometers, time on feet, and building that engine. Then after the High Rocks, obviously as I enter my marathon block, I will increase my run volume. The strength will probably just be once a week, and it'll be a full body routine where I target legs and upper body in one session, typically around 45 minutes. Again, focus on your main lifts, get stronger, that's all you need to do. And then the high rocks conditioning sessions will stay at 2 sessions per week. I'll likely also introduce double run days more. Again, it'll probably go up to 5-6 days a week of running. Haven't quite decided yet. And also the weekly long run will be way further. I'll be looking to push up to 35K on my longest run ahead of London Marathon. The goal for this one is a sub 2:40. I truly believe that this is possible. My 5, 10 and a half marathon definitely lined up with this time. My marathon at the moment at 2:49 is probably my worst time across all 4 distances. So I'm definitely keen to give it everything for this London Marathon block and hopefully achieve a really strong time. Now, hopefully that gave you some insight into what I'm doing. It may not be relevant for you. Of course, I've got years of experience training. My body is used to this stimulus. I can handle double days, but you will have to build up for it. So in terms of beginner, intermediate, and expert, on your experience level, here's what I would do. For the beginner level, I would make sure that you are running 3 times a week, an easy, an interval session, and a long run. If you've never even ran a half marathon before, I'd not be doing a 20 kilometer long run. An hour would be fine at the start and try and build up to 90 minutes. I'd also then just do 1 strength session a week, full body, focusing on progressing on your lifts, and then 1 conditioning session where you're focusing on ski erg, row, station work, where your heart rate is elevated, is controlled, but it's just a different kind of stimulus. So this would be in total 5 days a week. So with work, family, any kind of stress, you can still build that in. Of course, you want to really prioritize your long run, increasing the distance there. If you are really short on time, this is an easy way to see the gains and improvements on the weeks and weeks as they pass. The intermediate level, obviously dependent on your goal. If you are training for a marathon, I'd probably increase your runs to 4 or 5 days a week, where you'd introduce a tempo run or just introduce another easy run. Alternatively, if you just want to really focus on the hybrid style of training, then I would keep it 3, but just do an upper lower split or a push-pull leg split in the gym 3 days a week, and then doing just 1 conditioning session. You have to remember, these high intensity conditioning sessions is a lot on your body. You feel a lot of fatigue, it affects your running, it affects your lifts. So you just want to keep these at like 2 or 3 max throughout the week. Then if you do have a lot of training experience, you've got a lot of time, you've got a lot of energy, I would just max out on all 3. So that would be 5 days a week of running, or 6 days. I'd always try and have 1 off day of running entirely. And again, this would be 2 easy runs, an interval session, which is much shorter on the track, a longer tempo threshold session, and an easy long run. And then if you really wanted to, and your body can handle it, you could do even a lot more than I'm doing at the moment. You could do push-pull legs, upper lower, 5 days a week, building strength. So this is targeting, say your push would be your chest and shoulders, your pull would be your back and biceps, so any pulling movement, obviously. And then you'd have a lower specific day, which would be your hamstrings, glutes, and quads. And then if you're really experienced and you're used to the high rock style of training, you could increase your conditioning sessions to 3 days a week, where again, you're doing that sort of interval running at around 6, 7 out of 10 for 400, 500 meters into your station work. So that would be your row, ski erg, sled pull, sled push, any of these stations in between. And I look to take around 30, max 45 minutes for these sessions. So I hope this was helpful. If you did enjoy this video, please do subscribe. I am knackered, but I'm hoping 2026 is going to be a massive year. I'll see you in the next video.